Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Jesus recognizes at this point that the apostles still don't fully believe or understand that he is the Messiah. The question they pose to him is one of doubt. Why do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? If you're really the Messiah, shouldn't we have seen Elijah by now? They ask this even though immediately before this conversation, Christ was transfigured before their very eyes. And God proclaimed from the heavens, saying, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." It's not until Christ answers them that they realize their obliviousness. John was Elijah. Christ goes on to explain to them that just as John was killed, so too will the Son of Man be put to death. He'll have to repeat this to them many more times before his crucifixion. We often hold up the apostles as models of Christian faith, and it's right and just that we do this. And I find solace in the fact that even Peter, the first pope, the rock on which the church was built, had to be told things repeatedly. He had questions, and he didn't always believe things, even when he saw them with his own eyes. From the looks of things, it appears as though the apostles were kind of slow-witted, hesitant to many things that Christ told them, and had to be told repeatedly, kind of like children, on what to do, how to behave, what's right, what's wrong. And this is going on for pretty much the entire 3 years they're with Christ. We hear often throughout the gospel, "You've been with me for how long, and still you don't understand." And so it's important to take solace in that the apostles, arguably the greatest fathers in the church, the greatest saints in the church, because they got to walk side by side with God, got to walk side by side with Jesus Christ, so really arguably the greatest saints in the church, still struggled, still had doubts. So it's important that we can take solace in that even if we have doubts, even if we have questions, even if we're hesitant and resistant to the grace of God and to the teachings of Holy Mother Church, that God can still work with that God can still use us and love us and care for us. But just like the apostles in the gospel today, it's still important that, two things. One, that if we have questions, if we have doubts, if we have hesitancies, that we ask those questions. We ask those questions. And two, just as the apostles did, we remain open to what Christ and his church has to tell us. Both of those things are important and necessary. And it's only through this dialogue with Christ, this dialogue with his church, that, quite frankly, Christ will answer us. Christ has often answered all the questions that his church has posed to him. Over the last 2,000 years, we've been in a constant dialogue with Christ as the body of Christ, and then as with Christ himself, going back and forth, discerning and reflecting and understanding more deeply the truths that he has revealed to us. And so the answers are there. Are we going to ask those questions? Are we going to remain open to what Christ and his church has to tell us?